trouble if they knew. I'm trying hard to make you see. All that you are is all that I need. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on, leave the lights on.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
And a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for round 6 of the Porsche Supercup. We are at Catalonia, as you may be able to see. Barcelona here in Spain. We are ready to go, rocking and rolling for this qualifying session. We got 7.5 minutes left to go, and currently no drivers have put their laps in at the moment, but Porsche Supercup very hotly contested throughout the 5 weeks that we've seen so far. 10 races and a championship which is still undecided, but it's looking very much like Chris Pissock is going to be the inaugural Porsche champion here at Motive Racing, based on the last round of racing that we had last week. As it just loads up, there we go. So Chris leads the championship by, oh hold on, that's not the latest, sorry about this guys, that's not the latest standings. There's the latest one. Ah, here it is. So Chris leads the championship by 32 points. DeCrox did close the gap to him in the last round in Hungary, so 32 points, not so much when you consider there's 4 races left to go, 2 races per round. So these two, Chris and DeCrox, very much tied together at the moment. 130 points back to Rompu, sat in third. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a task for him to bring it in this season. You got BT Targo over 300 points back in fourth. So really, those three the only ones in the fight. But Rompu will actually be eliminated from the championship if he does not finish in front of Chris Pissock tonight in both races. So Rompu pretty much out of the fight. It's between Chris and DeCrox, and DeCrox currently the early pace setter at the moment in this qualifying session. Sorry, I just had to cough. DeCrox is currently the fastest man out there at the moment in this qualifying session. We've still got 5 minutes left to go. Chris hasn't put in a lap just at the moment. We've got Thomas Menga sat in second in the standings, currently just over a second off of the fastest time being set by DeCrox, but RaKiMaJe goes up into second place there on a 1:49.8, so that's a solid time there from RaKiMaJe. Rompu goes third, just under a second off of DeCrox's time. Scuderia Paul sat in fifth at the moment, he's 2.4 seconds off. You've got SDDRS Good Day Racing sat in at sixth at the moment in the standings. But these 6, DeCrox, RaKiMaJe, Rompu, Thomas Menga, Scuderia Paul and Good Day Racing, the only drivers still yet to do a lap. And it looks like deedeeTKU's actually gone P4 there, just over a second off of DeCrox's fastest time. So deedeeTKU there doing quite a nice job in the early stages of this qualification. Oh, as he just gets a little bit sideways there, coming through turns 1 and 2, and he spins out onto the gravel. That would not have been what he would have wanted. He brings it back into the pits. So he's currently sat in the pit lane. We've got SoggyBisckit, C Mellish, RWI, AmazingPieBoy, Chris Pissock, The Wall, and Cam Diz all yet to set a lap in at the moment. But the times are going to come in thick and fast. You can bet on that, that is for sure. RWI and C Mellish go up to 6th and 7th respectively. RWI 2/10 to the good of C Mellish, and it looks like we've just had another lap come in there. That looks like it might be from Thomas, who goes up to P4. C Mellish sat in 7th for the moment, 2.3 seconds off of the fastest time being set by DeCrox. SoggyBisckit, AmazingPieBoy, Chris, and Cam Diz. Cam Diz has just started a lap by the looks of it. He's now on his first flying lap of the session, but he goes really wide there, coming through turns 1 and 2. That will definitely compromise him. We've got AmazingPieBoy coming through the final chicane. Let's see what he can do. Can he get himself in the top 10 as he exits the final corner now? You can see there in the foreground, that was The Wall there going 9th with that lap that he just did. AmazingPieBoy looks like his lap was either invalid or it was an out lap. And Chris Pissock, the championship leader, coming up on the line now. What can Chris do with his rival at the top? He goes P2. So Chris, 4/10, half a second nearly off of the fastest time being set by his championship rival DeCrox. These two we know are going to be giving it 110% out there on track tonight. Chris obviously has that very, well, what is actually a slender lead. I made the mistake in thinking that he had this one very much within his grasp, but actually 32 points over the course of 4 races is not very much. A race wins 35 points, so it's pretty much all still to play for at this point. We'll have 2 races tonight, a sprint and a feature race, and then next week at Zandvoort we'll have another sprint and a feature race, so there's plenty to look forward to. And DeCrox really looks like he's got some strong pace here at Barcelona. He comes out of the final corner. Let's see if he can go a little bit quicker here. He's already got the provisional pole time, and he does improve very slightly, not by much, by 300ths of a second. Goes from a 1:48.96 to a 1:48.93. We've got Chris Pissock out there still on his second flying lap of the session. RaKiMaJe still sat in P3. Rompu 4th. We've got Thomas Menga in 5th at the moment. He's been knocked down place by Rompu. deedeeTKU's gone really wide onto the gravel there coming out of the final chicane. Just be careful, guys, because he's gone off. He's back on the track though now. As we can see, SimRaceTrain there in the... No, that's not SimRaceTrain. That is... SoggyBisckit. No, it's not. It is... Similar liveries. That was the wall. No, it wasn't. It was Thomas Menga. I do apologise. It was Thomas Menga going across the start-finish line. He stays P5 at the moment in this qualifying session. Rompu's just gone up into 2nd, and Chris Pissock has just gone top of the leaderboard. So a couple of developments there. Chris, the championship leader, now a 10th up on D-Crocs, so Chris is the man to beat at the moment. Rompu did very briefly go up to 2nd there, but Chris immediately pushing both D-Crocs and Rompu down a position. What can D-Crocs do? Now he's on a lap. He's just coming in towards the final sector of this lap that he's currently on. He had the top spot in the early stages of this session. He will get one more lap after this one that he's currently on. So if he doesn't go fastest, he will still get another bite at the cherry. But Chris Pissock currently setting a great lap time there. These two, the only ones in the 148s, Chris and D-Crocs, as D-Crocs is now coming out of the last corner. And let's see if he can get himself up ahead of Chris here as he exits the final corner now at Catalunya, getting really all over that curve there. All 4 wheels off the track, and he comes over the line and he goes 0.08 of a second quicker. D-Crocs to the top of the leaderboard. What can Chris do about that? Rompu's still out there, 0.3 off. RaKiMaJe's in the pits. He's not going to go any quicker. What about Thomas Menga? Can he get himself on the front 2 rows, maybe ahead of RaKiMaJe? Let's see as he comes up towards the line now. He crosses it and he can't improve. He stays P5. deedeeTKU's out there. So is Scuderia Paul, but he's been into the wall, and Scuderia Paul's session is over. SimRaceTrain is coming through the first corner. He will be one of the last drivers to cross the line. So the wall will be the last man to cross the line before we finish the session. AmazingPieBoy and Cam Diz coming towards the tail end of their laps now. And it looks like we've had one more driver join the session before we actually get going, as AmazingPieBoy runs very wide there on the exit of turn 9. But D-Crocs is coming through the first to middle sector checkpoints. Will Friedman's in the session, good to see. Rompu goes P1, look at that. That was out of nowhere there. Team run DJC have got a 1-2-3 at the top of the leaderboard. It is absolutely dominance here from Team run DJC tonight in this Porsche Super Cup. Where did that come from? Rompu there, improving his lap by half a second, goes to the top. Chris Pissock's in the pits. He's not going to improve. D-Crocs was 0.08 up at the top of the leaderboard, but he's been blitzed by 0.3 of a second by Rompu. What does D-Crocs have in response to that? As he is coming through the final sector now at Barcelona. He will be one of the last drivers to cross the line. I believe that Cam Diz will cross the line just before him, and Cam Diz gets really loose there coming out at the final corner, gets all over that curb. Now he comes through out onto the start finish straight. Can he get himself in the top 10 maybe? He crosses the line and he can't. It's an invalid lap there for Cam Diz. D-Crocs currently sat in 2nd. Can he go to the top of the leaderboard here? No, he can't. Misses out by 0.2. Rompu is going to line up on pole for this one, but he's got his 2 championship contender teammates behind him. So it's going to be so intriguing to see how this start plays out, and indeed the entire race. But the wall is going to be the last driver to cross the line and finish a lap. He's currently 3.5 seconds off the pace in P10. What is the wall going to be able to do here as he comes out onto the start finish straight? He crosses over the line now, and it's going to be a P9 for the wall. Improves his lap time by a bit, moves up ahead of SimRaceTrain. So it's going to be Rompu on pole with D-Crocs alongside him on the front row. Chris Pissock and RaKiMaJe on the second row. Thomas Menga and deedeeTKU in 5th and 6th, with Scuderia Paul, RWI Racing, the Wall and SimRaceTrain completing the top 10. SoggyBisckit, SDTRS, Good Day Racing in 11th and 12th. AmazingPieBoy, Cam and Will join the session right at the end. We'll start at the back. But stay with us, guys. We will be going to a very short break, and then we'll be back on in a few moments time for the sprint race. So don't go anywhere, stick around, and we will see you very, very shortly.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day. Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. I'm motivated by fear.
Has managed to keep it just ahead of DJPhilgreen at the moment as we're side by side here coming down the pit straight. Is Camber going to make this 3 wide coming towards turn 1? You can see there DJPhilgreen just trying to squeeze Emo Guy towards the right, giving him the middle of that space with 3 wide coming into turn 1. Camber very sensibly backs out of that one as Emo Guy manages to hold his position on the inside line and just about squeeze his way into the position there and maintains 8th place ahead of DJPhilgreen. Here we go, and it looks like we're lights out here at Brands Hatch, and it's a good start there from pole from DeedeeTKU, and it looks like we've already got Fury coming down the middle here, coming towards Paddock Hill. DeedeeTKU trying to fend off Sebastopano as he comes onto the brakes. It looks like he has held onto the lead just about, but Sebas is hassling him as he comes through Druids, and we see there Fury's managed to get that position on Oakbar into Druids. Sebastopano very late on the brakes there. It looks like DeedeeTKU's been pushed out a little bit, so Sebastopano's up into the lead. It looks like Fury having a look on DeedeeTKU, but DeedeeTKU managed to hold on to that P2 just appears. When DeedeeTKU emerges from the pit lane, we know that a pit stop is around 25 seconds, and he's going to be very close with Rompu as he comes to the end of the pit lane now. Rompu drives around the outside of Paddock Hill and up into 3rd place, so that would have not been what DeedeeTKU wanted at all. Second separating these boys. Thorsten did have a lead of about 3 or 4 seconds. He was pulling away to Zegan Milk for a few laps, and now he pulls out to the left hand side. Zegan Milk has to leave the door open. We're going to go side by side here down the pit straight. Is Thorsten going to go for the move into the first corner? It looks like he does. He's up the inside, so Thorsten Borchardt getting that position side by side here down the pit straight. Oscar Style now has an opportunity to take this P2 position. We're side by side coming out towards turn 1. Oscar Style goes later on the brakes, up the inside. Elliot tries to undercut him on the exit. Still side by side, incredible stuff. Can Elliot hold it around the outside here, or is Oscar Style going to complete the move? It looks like Elliot somehow managing to hold on to that position. To go for the move. Both of these guys within about 2/10 of the car in front, as we see DeHuisRocker closing speed coming onto the brakes. So he looks like he's making the move on the inside here of Bunny Prevention, but he can't quite get it done at the moment. DeHuis goes a little bit wide there on the exit, and it looks like he almost spins it. Very close there to losing the car. HRT Zeus is up into 2nd place, but DeHuisRocker was pushing a little bit too hard there in his quest to try and get ahead of Bunny Prevention. Bunny Prevention's holding on to the lead. DJPhilgreen lining Ratchet ass up here, but he can't quite make it stick at the moment by the looks of it. And Unorthodox has got a fantastic run on both of these guys, but Unorthodox, you just saw, had to get out of it a little bit there because he had a great run. It was going to most likely end up in him driving himself into trouble, and we can see Ratchet going straight on there over the chicane. Unorthodox driving around the outside there of DJPhilgreen and up into 5th place, and Unorthodox is going to try and get Ratchet as well. He has indeed. That is brilliant stuff from Unorthodox in every way that he can. John Boy very much on the back of these guys now as they come down the pit straight. Oh, we can see there, it looks like DeedeeTKU getting a little bit loose there onto the grass, and now Little Leach is going to fancy his charges around the outside, and with 3 wide here coming out of the pit straight. John Boy trying to get involved in this action as well. In the end, I think surely Nickthevilla is going to back out. Yes, he does, but John Boy making a double overtake there coming into turn 1, and he's up into 6th place. What a move there from
pushing. You can tell he's pushing. Look at the way he's driving the car. He's making sure it's got nothing left to give. He's absolutely ragging it round Alton Pond. He's got alongside Exmar as they headed towards the island bend. Gary will have the inside line, and Exmar's wide, and he's off. Can he keep it out the tyre wall? Indeed he does. In fact, he's through, coming through the little chicane section there, and already going down the back straight. He's going to try and gain on the lead as he's back up into P3. What can DeHuisRocker do? Well, that's RWI Racing. Comes back at Zeus, and they've made contact, and somehow Zeus and RWI have stopped it from going fully round. But DeHuisRocker and Klaus Martini had to take avoiding action there, and that's DeHuisRocker just leaning on RWI Racing, which will allow Klaus Martini up the inside. In fact, Klaus Martini's kind of forced RWI Racing wide there as well. In the background of this, Bod's looking for a piece of the action, but can't find a way through past WI Racing then. G right on the back of John Boy. John Boy defending really well at the moment. This for the lead here. Can G take back-to-back wins on this Tuesday night? He's got the cut back on John Boy. That is textbook. Shoulders had a bit of a slide there, and that's allowed Motoring Morgan through. Maybe he will allow Little Leach in the background, but G textbook there. He's reached in the glove compartment. He's pulled out the textbook.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the opening race of the evening for the Porsche Supercup here at Barcelona. 4 races left to go in this season. Currently the action very much heating up between these two men, currently sat in 2nd and 3rd in this formation. You've got D-Crocs just ahead of the championship leader Chris Pissock. They got their teammate Run DJC leading them around for this formation lap. Rompu doing a fantastic lap there, putting it on pole position. And speaking of Team Run DJC, I'm joined in the commentary box tonight by another Team Run DJC member known as Emo Guy. Iain, welcome to the commentary box, mate.
Hello, I apologise a bit late. It's been a very stressful couple of days. My daughter's recently learned how to climb our front garden wall.
This is not a good thing, is it? It would be.
No.
Imagine, I suppose, what would ideally you'd want in this situation is to live next to a field or something, private field maybe, but not next to other people though, not next to other people.
Just let her free, let her go into the pasture, you know.
Yeah. No, but I suppose when you're living next to other people and you've got neighbours, these are issues.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, it sounds like you've had a fun but eventful couple of days. But oh, looks like we're racing here. We're underway for this sprint race. Lights out and away we go. And it looks like Rompu is just about going to hold on here ahead of D-Crocs. But it's very, very close as they come towards turn 1. Chris looking to the outside. He's not going to be able to get around him right now. But D-Crocs is going to slam the door there as he comes round Rompu, round the outside of turn 1 into turn 2. It's going to be D-Crocs leading the field ahead of Rompu. Chris Pissock in 3rd. We've got RaKiMaJe sat in 4th place at the moment. Thomas Menga has lost out quite a few positions here. He looks like he's not in the top 5 for sure. I don't know where he's dropped back to, but he's had a bit of a shaky start in the early stages of this race. Chris though sat just behind Rompu. D-Crocs taking the lead early on, and Thomas dropped back to 6th behind RWI. So RWI sat in 5th behind Raki. Then Thomas Menga, DeedeeTKU, Scuderia Paul. We've got the Wall trying to fend off Camdis. The Wall's made a very strong start to this race. Camdis is looking to his inside though as they come up this run towards what is kind of a bit like a chicane, I guess. And it looks like Camdis has made that move. Yeah, it is a chicane, really, isn't it? But but he's made the wall up the inside there. He's made the move up the inside of the wall.
That is Will Friedman and CM.
Yeah, Will Friedman. He had a strong race last week in the feature race, took pole for the feature race, and followed that up with a podium finish, but it's not been the start that Will Friedman would have wanted. SimRaceTrain waits for Will. I can only assume there was a bit of a ding-dong between the two of them, which was SimRaceTrain's fault, and as such he's being very sportsmanlike in waiting for Will to regain himself back together. But in the meantime, it's Rompu leading the field by 0.3 of a second ahead of Chris. Chris has got ahead of D-Crocs, and what's happened to... Oh no! D-Crocs is disconnected from the lobby. Oh no!
I was thinking we were one-man short on the leaderboard there.
D-Crocs came into this one 2nd in the standings to Chris, but he's disconnected on the very first lap of this race as Chris is now eyeing up a move, trying to get past Rompu if he can. He's having a little look to the inside as we come into turn 1, but Rompu's going to close the door there. There's no way around for Chris. RaKiMaJe, RWI, Thomas Menga sat in 5th. There's DeedeeTKU ahead of Scuderia Paul. Good A Racing, Camdis still holding on ahead of the wall. It looks like we've got AmazingPieBoy, Will Friedman and SimRaceTrain at the back. Will Friedman's pulled away a little bit from SimRaceTrain since that little incident that those two had on the first lap, but Rompu leading the race, not by the very...
The Wall and AmazingPieBoy side by side.
Oh yeah, they are. It's AmazingPieBoy going to make this move. I think he is, yeah, he's up the inside. Relatively simple stuff there for AmazingPieBoy, and he can now try and chase down Camdis up ahead, who's still on the back of Good A Racing and Scuderia Paul, and it looks like Good A Racing gets all over the place there, rattles over the curbs. He's lost out there. Camdis is up into 8th place. He was on the back of Paul, couldn't get the move on Paul, and now Paul's got his mirrors absolutely full of Camdis.
Raki's right on the back of Chris here as well, as he's dropped off the back of him for a little bit here.
Yeah, he has. Chris has, yeah, you're right. Rompu seems to have the pace around this track. We saw him taking pole position in the qualifying session. He got immediately jumped off the line by D-Crocs, but since then it's deeTKU disconnected on the first lap just after he took the lead, and since then Rompuy's now been left on his own in the lead of the race, so not the ideal situation for deeTKU with the championship being on the line. But Chris will probably be relatively relieved with that. He'll know that his championship gap will be pretty much unassailable going into the final 3 races of the season.
I'll pull up the championship standings just now, and I will let you know what the current
Oh, it's Cam Diz has got Paul looking to the inside. Sorry to cut you off there, Ian. It looks like we're side by side here down the pit straight, and DJPhilgreen's looking to the outside. It looks as though Scuderia Paul's pulled that move off, but Cam Diz is having another look to the inside in towards turn 1. Has he overshot the corner though? Paul's going to try and get the cut back, but he's not going to be able to, and Cam has actually taken a position straight back off of him there. So Paul had the run down the pit straight, got the move done, and then Cam just tucked back into the slipstream and completely reverse switched him, and now DJPhilgreen's looking all over the back of Paul. Has a little look coming into turn 3. He's going to have the inside line. He goes for a bit of a lunge and pushed over the inside brilliantly there. Great driving from DJPhilgreen. Has Paul got any response to that? I don't think he has, and DJPhilgreen is up into 8th place. Some great racing from that trio there, and Thomas Menger looks like he's still really hassling the back of RWI with deedeeTKU waiting in the wings just behind these two. But Thomas Menger looks very intent on picking up this P4 as these guys are dropping off the leaders a little bit. Rompu, Chris and Raki breaking away. Raki also not really able to keep up with Chris by the looks of it anymore, but Thomas looks like he might have to run here coming up towards the left-hander of turn 9. Is he going to go for a lunge? Nope, thinks better of that one. deedeeTKU tucking in behind. It's line of stern here behind these guys. AmazingPieBoy there sat in 10th. C Mellish still trying to hold Will Friedman behind him. Is Will going to go for a bit of a lunge here? He's got the run. I think he is. In fact, C Mellish doesn't make that too difficult for Will. Reasonably easy move there.
Yeah, okay. Not back there, but yeah, just looking at the standings right now. Chris Bassett comes in.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there, Ian. RWI and Thomas Menger both completely cutting across the chicane there, and they're absolutely bumper to bumper, but behind them no one was able to capitalise. It looks as though Cam Diz actually got ahead of all of them up into 5th, and Scuderia Paul sat behind him, and RaKiMaJe had a moment. That might be what triggered all of that going on. Raki has gone from 3rd to 9th place in the space of a sector. I didn't actually catch what happened there. Did you see that, Ian?
No.
Ian didn't see it either, so no eyes were on that, but RaKiMaJe has clearly had some kind of moment because he's gone from 3rd to 9th, but we didn't catch him doing it, so yeah, unfortunately we didn't get the evidence on the stream of that one, but we got Thomas Menger all over the back of DJPhilgreen. Yes, this is possibly a 5-man battle developing here for this 4th place. Cam currently has it. DJPhilgreen, Thomas, deedeeTKU, Scuderia Paul all want it though. And this is a fantastic battle in the early stages of this race, isn't it?
This is the longest and the closest we've seen these courses.
Oh no, Cam's off! Cam's off! He spins off coming out of turn 7. Oh, he's onto the grass. Oh, he's lost out enormously there. That's pushed. Oh, DJPhilgreen's round as well! No way! No! He's crashed out at the very next corner. Both of those guys having an absolute mare. He's taken the markers with him. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. He's got to let pretty much the whole field go past him. And in fact, yeah, he is down to 12th place, so he's next to last. In fact, no, he's last. He is last. Oh, no. DJPhilgreen, it's gone from bad to worse. And I thought that Cam Diz had a bit of a mare, but DJPhilgreen has just gone and trumped that with what he's done there. He is now down to 13th place in this race.
I've got ahead of Rompu.
Oh yeah, we've had a change for the lead here. Chris has managed to make that move. Rompu's still on the back of him, but these two Team Run DJC teammates, and if Chris is able to take the win in this sprint race, then he will extend his gap to deeTKU to 67 points in the championship with only 3 races left to go. So Chris is very much putting himself in the box seat to take this championship. With the way that he's driving right now, he is the man currently with the plan, and Rompu's already dropping off the back of him, 8/10 of a second separating these two at the end of the first sector. Thomas,
well,
sorry,
it's looking better. It's looking quite good for Rompu as well. But even like you said, we've got another 2 races left of the season after this. We've got 3 more after this. So we do. No, sorry, no, not from.
One round, 2 races.
This race. Yeah, two more rounds after tonight. So, Rompu does look comfortable for front place, and Dycroft, it looks like after tonight, depending on what his performance is in race 2, it might seem like his
AmazingPieBoy's lost it. He's into the barriers. He's got a little bit out of shape going through turn 7, and that corner seems to be a bit of a regular spot for drivers to lose the car. He's behind Good Day Racing. AmazingPieBoy now down to the back of the pack. Oh my goodness.
It's so easy to lose it there in a car with traction control, so you can imagine how hard it would be, taking that corner at a reasonable speed in a car that does not have any traction control.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult, bordering on impossible. Thomas has lost it. Thomas is round coming through the chicane, and he has to wait for Scuderia Paul and Raki to come through. And as he rejoined in front of somebody, oh my goodness, this is turning into a spin fest tonight.
Raki and Will both cut the chicane there.
Yeah, as we can see, Thomas now very, very close on the back of RWI in what is now the fight for 7th place. Back of Will Friedman even, not RWI. And Will is going to try and defend this one, but I think Thomas has got the run coming into turn 1. No, in the end, Thomas breaks a little bit later, holds on to the position. No way around at the moment for Thomas Menga to get ahead of Will. You got Camdiz dropping off the back of DeedeeTKU a little bit. Rompu still keeping Chris honest. Still just under a second separating the top 2. RaKiMaJe now back up into 3rd. After being down in 9th a couple of laps ago. It's all been going off in front of him. But DeedeeTKU, Camdiz, Will Friedman, Thomas still pressuring the back of Will at the moment. You've got SimRaceTrain and RWI separated by 0.3 of a second. 3.5 seconds back to Good Day Racing, sat in 10th. The Wall, Scuderia Paul fighting it out over 11th, and AmazingPieBoy after that little bit of a skirmish going into the wall, down in a 13th position at the moment. But I don't know where to look right now. There seems to be action going on wherever you look here.
We'll always expect that there is a few, there will be a few off-track moments in these courses. Like I said, with them having no traction control compared to a lot of cars that can rival these cars. But it's for the most part they are doing well to keep it on track, especially on a tight and twisty track like Catalonia.
Yeah, that is for sure. It's not easy, but having said that, I really hope that we don't have wet conditions later on, because I think that might just about put the nail in the coffin. Yeah, pretty much. But Good Day Racing all over the back of RWI in this fight for 9th place, and these two have dropped off of SimRaceTrain a little bit while they're fighting it out. They got the Wall and Scuderia Paul fighting it out over 11th. Scuderia Paul had a bit of a moment when they were all fighting. In that big scuffle that we had earlier on. But Camdiz there's closed up onto the back of DeedeeTKU a little bit now. 1.2 seconds separating 4th and 5th, and Will just sat there in the background just waiting in the wings, waiting for his moment to pounce. We've got SDDRS Good Day Racing sat just a 10th behind RWI at the moment. This is the fight for 9th place, and RWI doing a good job of holding in behind him for the time being. Scuderia Paul sat just up behind the wall on the track at the moment. Chris has extended his gap to Rompu, now just over 2 seconds separating them. As Chris gets all over the grass there, coming out of that dreaded turn 7. Every time we flick to that corner, somebody's getting it all wrong, but he somehow has kept it together. But that was incredibly close there. 2 tears for Chris Bissock.
Yeah, that's... we all know exactly what skill Chris does have in these Porsche Cup cars, and in he chooses to drive the Porsche and the GT3 Cup as well. So he also knows how to control these cars to a heavy extent.
Iain, sorry to interrupt you there, mate. Good Day Racing's lost the car. No, Good Day Racing's down to last place. I just flicked to him. Once again, somebody else has lost the car coming through the chicane. It looks like every single time we go to that chicane, somebody is round or facing the wrong way or in the barriers. One of those three. As we look at Cam trying to get past Will, and it looks like he's got to move down all this side by side. No, Cam's lost it. Cam's lost the car. It wasn't Will, it was DeedeeTKU. Yeah, it looked like Will's been put off a little bit there. He's got through. He's still ahead of, still just ahead. But hold on. Yeah, no, he is. He's still just ahead of deedeeTKU at the moment, but Cam losing out massively there. He was actually trying to go around the outside of deedeeTKU. He'd already got past Will and was trying to get the move on Deedee, and then spun around, and that allowed Will to get past Deedee, and now these two 4th and 5th. But that was such close racing between those guys coming through the chicane. And when you're racing cars with no traction control, going side by side is never easy, because you have to be accommodative of the guy next to you to such an extent.
Yeah, like you expect, it's hard enough, going around that chicane, trying to avoid the massive Supercups that you've got in there. And, in a regular car, take away traction control and add an extra car to your left or your right, and it's like playing Minesweeper. Somebody's going to get it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's the odds are just not in your favour.
No.
But Chris still leading this race by 1.6 seconds over Rompu, and Chris has had moments in this race where we've kind of had our hearts in our mouths. We've been looking at him and thinking, oh gosh, Chris, no. But at the moment he has got this lead of 1.6 seconds over Rompu, and Rompu's keeping him honest, keeping him very much on his toes. If Chris were to make a mistake or go a little bit wide, maybe go into the gravel just a tad, then Rompu will be there, Johnny on the spot, ready to capitalise and make the most of Chris's moment of weakness. But at the moment, it looks like these two stay as they are. But also, it looks like we've got deedeeTKU still not too far behind Will. Thomas Menga now pulling up onto the back of deedeeTKU in this fight for 5th place. The rest of the pack actually a little bit strung out now, which is something we haven't seen for quite a while throughout this race.
Number 24 and off.
Oh, did Skidder? Oh no, Paul! Oh, Paul, what's happened? Is he behind the wall? He has. He's lost out to all of them. The wall is now in last place. No. Paul is now in last place.
Still behind him.
Yeah, AmazingPieBoy still running around in 13th place. Ooh. But that has dropped Paul down to 12th place here in this race. And he's got AmazingPieBoy not too far behind him now. Only 2 seconds separating these two as they're coming out of the last corner to start lap 8.
I mean, not ignore me. Because I was looking at number 43 and I was thinking, Nick, that's normally what the leaders are at this point in the lap. So I was thinking, where's that other thought in our race? I'll look up a little bit. And they're around 2 or 3 corners ahead.
Right, we can also see here Cam has got ahead of the wall up into 9th place, so he's done a great move there as Cam. The wall losing out, he's down to 10th. It looks like we've got Thomas still on the back of deedeeTKU in this fight for P5, and Chris has pulled out a bit of a gap to Rompu now, over 2 seconds separating the two leaders. So it looks like Chris, barring any major catastrophes, yeah, might actually be losing this race. He won't be losing this race even.
Yeah, just when you're talking about the wall there, it's not exactly the easiest driver to get around. He often, he's a solid driver, hard to get around as most walls are.
It's like trying to get through. It's a bit like trying to get through a concrete wall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unless you're coming off a battering ram, you're not going to do much.
Yeah, absolutely. But the wall.
Oh, who's that lost it? Cam.
Cam. Oh, has Cam lost it?
Yeah.
Oh
both
no.
The wall and Good Day Racing is now ahead of him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Cam losing out enormously there. It's been moments of not so great driving from Cam tonight. It's just certain points it hasn't really fallen for him, and we're currently seeing Thomas at the moment still closing up onto the. In fact, no, actually, hold on. Yeah, he's still on the back of deedeeTKU in this fight for 5th. These two have been really, really close for a few laps, but Thomas still not able to find a way around him. And actually, at points in the track, deedeeTKU is pulling away from him. Cam, as you say, they're in losing out 2 places. He's now down in 11th place, but he's on the back of Good Day Racing. He's only about a second and a half off of a top 10 spot. So, in fact, no, only 4/10 off of a top 10 spot. So it's very much on the cards for him to pick up some pieces here in this race. It still could be on for 10th spot, maybe even 9th if he gets the wall as well, just in front of these two. So there's still a lot on the table, and Cam's just got to push and see what he can get. But Thomas there, half a second behind deedeeTKU in the first sector checkpoint. Looks like he's lost a little bit coming through the next couple of corners, because that looks like to me to be about 7 or 8 tenths rather than half a second.
Good Day Racing side by side with the wall.
Oh, I think he's done it. Yeah, the wall very quite compromising there actually. He's got Cam looking up his inside now, coming up towards the dreaded chicane, and he's going to ride over that curve. Is Cam? Good Day Racing gets really wide onto the gravel, and Good Day Racing Sorry, yeah, it looks like he's Cam there got through, and he's onto the back of G'day Racing.
Remember, Andy, I've told you, take a breath before you think. And you know, an extra breath before
the
you
wall
say.
losing 2 positions in that little exchange there, not the situation that he would have liked. But G'day Racing done a great job there driving around the outside. And oh, the wall's lost it. He's got out of shape there onto the grass and tagging the gravel a little bit. I think Scuderia Paul's going to move up into 11th place. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong for the wall, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, we all know exactly what kind of skill the wall has, you know, as far as skills do go for a wall. Yeah, he's an all-round good driver. He does well in the GT3s. He does race the GT3s, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I think he races in Tier 2. Yeah, he races in the Tier 2 for the GT3s. He also races in GT4s.
Yeah, well, and he's a very fast driver in the GT4s, and I know that for a fact. I've raced alongside him many times. So I have, and I've just, he's a fantastic driver, but he just needs to keep his head down.
That's it, yeah. It's just about keeping yourself together and getting the results. As we got watching Chris right now, he's actually slowed down a little bit here. I believe Chris and Rompu may be going for a bit of a formation finish here at the end of this race. Now, we obviously saw the Pink Panthers of G and Kurt doing this in yesterday's race at Paul Ricard, and I think the Team Run DJC are doing their own little take on this as Chris coming into the final chicane. Rompu just behind him. Rompu started this one on pole. Chris from third, but Chris is going to take top spot here where it matters. He's going to take the sprint race tonight here at Catalunya, making the most of D-Crox's woes with the disconnection earlier on. Chris is your winner. Rompu brings it home for a Team Run DJC 1-2. RaKiMaJe is coming out at the final chicane now, and he's going to finish in the final podium spot in that number 43. Raki the best of the rest, but no match for those two, Chris and Rompu, who are driving currently in a little formate. Well, they were, but Chris is now in the pits. Raki comes over to finish in third. Will, a great drive from him to come back through. He started at the back of the pack, let's not forget here. And P4 for Will, my driver of the day for the sprint race. But having said that, I'm speaking too soon, because we can't give driver of the day until it's all said and done. DeedeeTKU. Exactly. DeedeeTKU finishes in 5th ahead of Thomas Menga. C. Mellish in 7th. Where? Cam!
No!
Cam and RWI have a bit of a collision, and RWI I think might have just got pipped. Did he get pipped to the line? No, they'd already crossed the line. They'd already crossed the line.
By 0.002.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That was so tight between those two. RWI finishes in 8th. SDTRS G'day Racing in 9th place. Camdis 10th. Scuderia Paul, The Wall, AmazingPieBoy classified in 13th, and D-Crox disconnected on the first lap in 14th place. Ladies and gentlemen, what a sprint race we've had there, and don't go anywhere because we will be back on for the feature race qualifying session pretty shortly, and following that the actual feature race itself. So stick around and we'll be back in a few moments.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day. Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. I'm motivated by fear.
Has managed to keep it just ahead of Dwayne Buff at the moment, as we're side by side here coming down the pit straight. Is Camber going to make this 3 wide coming towards turn 1? You can see there Dwayne Buff just trying to squeeze Emo Guy towards the right, giving him the middle of that space with 3 wide coming into turn 1. Camber very sensibly backs out of that one as Emo Guy manages to hold his position on the inside line and just about squeeze his way into the position there and maintains 8th place ahead of Dwayne Buff. Here we go, and it looks like we're lights out here at Brands Hatch, and it's a good start there from pole from DeedeeTKU, and it looks like we've already got Fury coming down the middle here, going towards Paddock Hill. DeedeeTKU trying to fend off Sebastopano as he comes onto the brakes. It looks like he has held onto the lead just about, but Serkis is hassling him as he comes through Druids, and we see there Fury's managed to get that position on Oak Bar into Druids. Sebastopano very late on the brakes there. It looks like DeedeeTKU's been pushed out a little bit, so Sebastopano's up into the lead. It looks like Fury having a look on DeedeeTKU, but DeedeeTKU managed to hold on to that P2 just appears. When DeedeeTKU emerges from the pit lane, we know that a pit stop is around 25 seconds, and he's going to be very close with Rompu as he comes to the end of the pit lane now. Rompu drives around the outside of Paddock Hill and up into third place, so that would have not been what DeedeeTKU wanted at all. Second separating these boys. Thorsten did have a lead of about 3 or 4 seconds. He was pulling away to Egan Milk for a few laps, and now he pulls out to the left hand side. Zegan Milk has to leave the door open. We're going to go side by side here down the pit straight. Is Thorsten going to go for the move into the first corner? It looks like he does. He's up the inside, so Thorsten Borchardt getting that position side by side here down the pit straight. Officer Style now has an opportunity to take this P2 position with side by side coming out towards turn 1. Officer Style goes later on the brakes, up the inside. Elliott tries to undercut him on the exit. Still side by side, incredible stuff. Can Elliott hold it around the outside here, or is Officer Style going to complete the move? It looks like Elliott somehow managing to hold on to that position. To go for the move, both of these guys within about 2/10 of the car in front, as we see DeHuisRocker closing speed coming onto the brakes. So he looks like he's making the move on the inside here of Bunny Prevention, but he can't quite get it done at the moment. DeHuis goes a little bit wide there on the exit, and it looks like he almost spins it. Very close there to losing the car. HRT Zeus is up into second place, but DeHuisRocker was pushing a little bit too hard there in his quest to try and get ahead of Bunny Prevention. Bunny Prevention's holding on to the lead. DJPhilgreen lining Ratchet ass up here, but he can't quite make it stick at the moment by the looks of it. And Unorthodox has got a fantastic run on both of these guys, but Unorthodox, you just saw, had to get out of it a little bit there because he had a great run. It was going to most likely end up in him driving himself into trouble, and we can see Ratchet going straight on there over the chicane. Unorthodox driving around the outside there of DJPhilgreen and up into 5th place, and Unorthodox is going to try and get Ratchet as well. He has indeed. That is brilliant stuff from Unorthodox in every way that he can. John Boy very much on the back of these guys now as they come down the pit straight. Oh, we can see there, it looks like DeedeeTKU getting a little bit loose there onto the grass, and now Little Lee's just going to fancy his charges around the outside, and with 3 wide here coming out of the pit straight. John Boy trying to get involved in this action as well. In the end, I think surely Nickthevilla is going to back out. Yes, he does, but John Boy making a double overtake there coming into turn 1, and he's up into 6th place. What a move there from
pushing. You can tell he's pushing. Look at the way he's driving the car. He's making sure it's got nothing left to give. He's absolutely ragging it round Altupog. He's got alongside Exmar as they're heading towards the island bend. Gary will have the inside line, and Exmar's wide, and he's off. Can he keep it out the tyre wall? Indeed he does.
Done. In fact, he's through, coming through the little chicane section there, and already going down the back straight. He's going to try and gain on the lead as he's back up into P3. What can DeHuisRocker do? Well, that's RoadRacing comes back at Zeus, and they've made contact, and somehow Zeus and RWI have stopped it from going fully round. But DeHuisRocker and Klaus Martini had to take avoiding action there, and that's DeHuisRocker just leading on RWI Racing, which will allow Klaus Martini up the inside. In fact, Klaus Martini's kind of forced RWI Racing wide there as well. In the background of this, Bod's looking for a piece of the action, but can't find a way through past WI Racing then. G right on the back of John Boy. John Boy defending really well at the moment. This for the lead here. Can G take back-to-back wins on this Tuesday night? He's got the cut back on John Boy. That is textbook. Shoulders had a bit of a slide there, and that's allowed Motoring Morgan through. Maybe he will allow Little Leach in the background, but G textbook there. He's reached in the glove compartment. He's pulled out the textbook. I'm going for this move, he says, and he's done it well. He's had an absolute peaceful explosion down there as well. Richie's managed to get back up into P14, but G not having the greatest of starts here. Big Boy Brazier in a world of his own, and we've seen this so many times on a Wednesday night. Gary, I think, got forced wide by Sutsu, who tried to lunge on Fury, and it didn't come off. Is this Emo guy trying to go around the outside of Sutsu Apex, and Gary's going to look to sneak one up the inside, and Emo guy just comes back across. Gary gives him the room, and Gary's sliding up the inside and gets that job done, but now he's got orthodubs all over the back of him. And for Motive Racing, they're teaming up on Gary here, and Gary needs to get in front of these guys and get away and get closer to Sutsu. And you see him breaking late, very wide from Gary. Oh, is that Little Leach? Oh, it is Little Leach. Morgan now having a look up the inside of Gary. Little Leach is there. Morgan and Gary side by side down the start straight. Little Leach is going to make this 3 wide as they come down the start straight. And he's on the outside of Gary and motoring Morgan. And this could be disaster going into turn 1. 3 to 1 does not work. But Little Leach around the outside of Gary. Gary sticks it there on the undercut and has got it done. And Little Leach around the outside has done both of them. Cracking driving from Little Leach. Gary's keeping it pinned in.
But he's now got Oakbar in front of him. Is he going to try and make a move on the exit of Curva Grande coming up towards second chicane? Oakbar tries to go defensive, but Civic's got the inside. It looks like Oakbar breaks a little bit later. Has he overshot the corner though? He almost did. It's a compromise for the second part of the corner, but Oakbar just about keeps onto the position by the skin of his teeth. Civic there in the end, not getting the run out of the corner. He would have been contact. Arnold Thubso has got a good run there coming up into Lesmo 1. He's got the inside and he's got the move done there on RaKiMaJe. Dan up a position. Brilliant driving there. Looks like he's got Shrimper and Ads right behind him here. Shrimper and Ads going side by side here, coming through the parabola. You can see these guys on the exit of the corner. Ads is going to have to slipstream with Mr. O a little bit, but Shrimper looks like he's got the superior straight line speed. Although maybe Ads now just picking up that toe from the car in front. Mr. O giving the toe to Shrimper also. Side by side still coming up towards the first chicane. Is Ads going to have that move around the outside? It looks like Shrimper in the end conceives that position. Ads is up into 11th place there. Good move there. Oh, Ads goes a bit deep into the first chicane though. He goes wide and that's giving the place back to Shrimper. So Shrimper there maintaining P10 in that little exchange there. To come down the pit straight here to complete lap 6 of the race. Maz making a look move to the inside, coming towards the first chicane. Shrimper leaves him in the space on the inside, and it looks like Maz is going to have the move done there on the brakes. He is indeed. He's up into 8th place, sorry 7th, trying to defend. It looks like he's actually been passed by Cinderella Tour. And is he going to find himself open to an attack here from Flaky? Flaky around the outside of Fury. It looks like Flaky's made it stick and he's up the inside for turn 2. Great stuff there from Flaky.
If I was Flaky, I'd be thinking about my championship. I wouldn't be fighting a Sunday.
Oh, it looks like Flaky's got all that sorts out of shape now, and G looking to the outside, coming up towards the chicane. He's going to have to get it round the long way though. Flaky's giving him the space on the inside. Flaky late on the brakes, and he's looks like he's put it back up the inside, and Flaky somehow just clinging onto that second place by the skin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for the second qualifying session of the evening. We just had an absolutely phenomenal first race. We saw lots of action, plenty of thrills and spills, more spills than thrills I've got to say, but a couple of thrills here and there. We saw a few great moves and ultimately Chris Pissock taking the win ahead of Rompu. The 2-team run DGC's getting a 1-2. D-Crocs qualified in second, got the jump on Rompu at the start and led the first half a lap and then disconnected from the session, so he'll be hoping for better luck with his electrics for this second race. But he's pretty much out of the title battle now, which won't be what he would have wanted. But my name's Andy, if you didn't already realise, guys, and I'm also joined in the commentary box by my very good friend, Emo Guy, otherwise known as Ian. Ian, welcome along.
I'm always happy to be here. It was an exciting first race. Unfortunately for D-Crocs, he did have that disconnection. Hopefully, he is now out of the championship fight. So all he can do is try and hold on to that second place ahead of Rompu.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got to be the main aim, hasn't it? That is for sure. But I suppose it's not going to feel like he's fighting for something as worthy, is it? Because I suppose when the chance to achieve the best prize is gone, you kind of sat there thinking, well, is it really worth it? But hopefully he doesn't think like that. Hopefully he summons some kind of superhuman mental strength and manages to get on with it. But it's Chris Pissock currently setting the pace here in this qualifying session at the moment. He's on a 1:48.6, and he's 1.6 seconds clear of Thomas Menga at the top of that leaderboard. AmazingPieBoy sat in third at the moment, just under 3 seconds off of that time. The Wall sat in fifth, he's just 3 seconds off for the pace. RaKiMaJe there getting into the 1:49s, we have 1:49s, still we know he's capable of quicker than that. Finished third in the opening race of the night, did RaKiMaJe, so we know that he's a man who's very, very capable in these Porsches of putting it up the top, so we definitely haven't seen his true pace here in this second quality session. 5 drivers have done a lap currently, 10 drivers still yet to set a time, but hopefully the times will come in thick and fast as the session progresses. Scuderia Paul goes up into 4th there, 2.5 seconds off for the fastest time, being set by Chris, as we see Raki getting really wide there out onto the grass and very nearly putting it in the gravel, but keeping it on the grey stuff for now. SoggyBisckit goes into 7th place. He's a long way off for the pace though, being set by Chris Pissock. He'll definitely want to get the hammer down and get a little bit closer if he can. Maybe even crack the top 10, who knows. But Chris Pissock goes up into...
Oh, good day, he takes it.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, where did that come from, Ian? Wow. Good day.
Very nice.
Good day, having a great day at the office today. He's done a 148.2. Oh no, Chris has gone top. Look at that. Chris goes 2 tenths quicker, so good day's great day turns into an okay day because Chris Pissock goes to the top. D-Crocs isn't too far off, within 3/10 of a second of Chris. Will Friedman only 4 tenths off of Chris in this session at the moment. RaKiMaJe in 5th, sat in the pits right now. We've got 15 drivers in the session. Let's hope that we get 15 drivers finishing the race as well. And Ian, I'm going to ask you the $1 million question a little bit earlier than I'd usually be asking you, because obviously we know we've got a lot of power, and let's start the curses as soon as we can. I'm joking. Let's not. But I want to get your 2 cents on who you think is going to take this. It's quite ironic, isn't it? It's the $1 million question, but I'm asking for 2 cents. But I want to get your opinion on who you think is going to take the win in this feature race.
Oh, it's quite a tough one because the top 5 are currently separated by less than a second. So the top 3 separated in less than 3 tenths. So it's hard to say at the minute. I'm going to keep my eye on anybody from 5th to 1st. I'm not picking anybody specific, but I'm keeping my eye on those 2 or anybody that can get within that second gap. Because we know that a second, it's quite a large amount of time in racing, but it's still very close.
Yeah, it is a considerable amount of time. 1 second is, I mean, that makes the difference between probably usually about 10 drivers in Formula 1. And this Porsche Supercup, as you say, 5 drivers separated by that margin. In fact, 8 tenths between the top 5, so it's incredibly close. As we're watching Chris coming out of the final corner, tags that yellow strip on the outside of the curve just a little bit.
He slowed down at the first half of the track, so that was maybe a fast lap anyway.
Fair dues. Chris onto another flying lap here. He'll get 2 laps in at the end of this session. D-Crocs goes into 2nd, put himself provisionally on the front row there. Only 700ths off of Chris, but not enough to get himself on the top spot at the moment. Chris obviously took the win in the sprint race this evening, and D-Crocs will be hoping to try and restore some of that pride that he, I'm sure he'd want to exert his authority on this Porsche Supercup field. Now that he's pretty much out of the championship, he can really go for it. He is not going to hold back. He can just drive freely and express himself out on the track and show what he's truly capable of achieving. But Chris, currently the man with the plan. We just heard Iain braking, a large ornament in the background there. Hopefully there's no major damage on that one.
It was just a screwdriver getting attached to the metal, the magnet on my phone case, and it fell off and hit the keyboard.
I sincerely hope that you have some kind of insurance on that one, mate. But Chris Pissock leading this race, leading this qualifying session by 700ths of a second. Over D-Crocs, and G'day Racing's just come into the pits, only 2 tenths off for the fastest time, so he's obviously thinking that he's achieved the summit of his ambitions in this quality session. We got Will Friedman. Oh, Will, what is he doing? He's trying to cut the track to get round in time to start another lap. Oh my, or maybe not, maybe no, actually what he could have done, he could have got a little bit onto the curb out of turn 9, tried to overcorrect it, got oversteer onto the grass, and then had to sort of rally cross. No, he's not. No, that's not the case, because he's now cutting the final chicane. So I'm not quite sure what Will is trying to achieve with that one, but it will come to no avail, because cheating and cutting the track only ends in penalties. And actually, you always get caught doing stuff like that in motorsport, because there are sensors on the track that detect it. So unfortunately for Will, there's no getting around that one. But Chris, currently sat at the top of the leaderboard, and he's 400ths of a second ahead of D-Crocs at the moment, but well, actually 36 thousandths to be precise, as we see Chris getting well out of the way. I think he's done for that lap, so he's not going to go quicker. And oh no, D-Crocs' electrics have gone again. Another power cut for D-Crocs. He's out of the session. Can he get back in time? If it's a power cut, he probably won't, because he's got to wait for all of his electrics to turn back on. He's got to then reboot the PS4. He's then got to turn the TV back on, get his wheel connected. So I think that might be it for D-Crocs, unless he's very, very quick in getting himself set up. But Chris Bissock leading this session, 2/10 over Destiny DRS Good Day Racing. RaKiMaJe moves up into third, only 4/10 off of the fastest time being set by Chris. Will Friedman in fourth. He's still out there, but I think he's done for the session. He is. Yep, he's pulled over to the side. Will start fourth at best. Rompu a little way down on what we saw in the first session. He's down to fifth place. Scuderia Paul sat in sixth. Cam Diz in seventh at the moment. He's still out there on the lap. We've got RWI in eighth. AmazingPieBoy on the wall. deedeeTKU, SmokieDevil and SoggyBisckit. But oh my goodness, this is amazing scenes. D-Crocs disconnecting again. So unfortunate. So unfortunate. I honestly feel so much for him, but we can see here Cam Diz is coming out of the final corner here. What is he able to do? He's currently sat in 8th at the moment. Can he get himself within 2 seconds of Chris, maybe improve his lap time ever so slightly? He does. He gets well within 2 seconds. He's 1.2 off of Chris. Moves up to P6 there. Displaces Thomas and Paul. What is AmazingPieBoy doing? He's done for the session. So the wall will once again be the final driver to cross the line here at the end of this qualifying session. He's sat in 11th. Can he put himself into the top 10 here as he crosses over the line? And he can't get into the top 10. He misses out by 4 attempts on RWI. It's going to be an 11th place start here for the wall. It's going to be Chris Bissock on pole ahead of Good Day Pardon me, that was a silent hiccup. He's going to be Chris Bissock on pole ahead of D-Crocs, alongside him on the front row with SDDRS Good Day Racing and RaKiMaJe on the second row. Will Friedman and Rompu. Rompu down in 6th place in this qualifying session. I'm surprised. Bit out of sorts from him.
Yeah, especially how close he was during that entire first race, because he was keeping Chris quite honest with that there, in terms of pace and how close he was keeping him. It's very surprising.
Yeah, it was a bit of a head scratcher, I've got to say. Cam Diz sat in 7th in this quality session with Thomas Menger behind him, Scuderia Paul and RWI completing the top 10. The wall AmazingPieBoy with deedeeTKU, SmokieDevil and SoggyBisckit at the back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a very, very short break whilst we get this feature race underway, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be absolutely cracking. So stick around and we'll see you very, very shortly. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, we are racing here for the feature race. Looks like Chris gets away reasonably well, but G'day Racing is going to challenge him all the way up until turn 1. These guys are side by side right now. RaKiMaJe just behind. Looks like Will Friedman on the outside there is going to almost run into the back of this SDDRS, and he goes actually ahead of RaKiMaJe there coming up towards the turn 1. A couple of guys went wide there at the back of the pack. I think deedeeTKU was involved, and oh no, who is that? Somebody else has got really out of shape there. Was that RWI? It was, no, it wasn't RWI, I don't think, but SoggyBisckit's made up some positions at the start of this race. He's now up into the mid-pack. What a great start there from SoggyBisckit. Thomas Menga was one of the cars that got caught up there at the start. He's now way down to the back as well. So unfortunate there for Thomas Menga. Chris leads the way though, ahead of G'day. G'day's challenging him all the way through the first few corners as it comes to the end of the first sector, but Chris manages to hold on at the moment. Will has got himself up to the third ahead of RaKiMaJe. We saw that on the run up towards turn 1. RWI sat in 5th. Cam's looking to make a move here on Rompu up the inside, and he's done it into turn 7. Great stuff there from Cam up into P6. Rompu there just behind. We've got SimRaceTrain there in 8th place. SoggyBisckit, the wall. AmazingPieBoy, deedeeTKU, Thomas Menga, and SmokieDevil at the back. Oh, it's been an absolute torrid first lap for those two. deedeeTKU on the back of AmazingPieBoy in the wall. On the back of the main leading pack, but Thomas and Paul falling off of that pack at the start. As we can see, Chris and G'day Racing separated by 0.4 of a second. Will just keeping them in sight at the moment, clinging onto the back of them, hoping that they all might trip over each other at some point. Raki there in 4th, and the top 4 breaking away from the rest of the pack at the moment.
Well, from the time that it takes me to get back into the session after joining the wall server, it seems like it's been a very eventful first lap.
Yeah, absolutely has. SimRaceTrain is all over the back here of Rompu as they're now coming out onto the start-finish straight to complete the first lap. And is SimRaceTrain going to be able to be close enough to get that run on Rompu? I don't think he is right now. SoggyBisckit has done a brilliant start to this race. He's gone from the back up into 9th place in the early stages. He's really on it tonight. We've got Cam there sat just ahead of RWI in that fight for 5th. But Chris, G'day Racing, Will Friedman, RaKiMaJe leading the race. These 4 have broken away from the rest of the pack. They're now separated by about 2 seconds, but Chris is actually, and Will's got ahead of G'day Racing up into 2nd. Didn't see that. Will Friedman up into P2. He can now try and chase down Chris, and G'day Racing's got Raki challenging him, having a little look to the inside into turn 5. Not quite in a position to be able to get that move done just at the moment. Cam Diz looks like he might be shaping up an attempt to catch up to this lot. Now he's in some clean air ahead of the mid-pack. You've got RWI, Rompu, SimRaceTrain. Rompu having an absolute mare in this race. What is going on with Rompu? Very out of sorts.
Yeah, he's dropped back a place, so he has behind RWI races. So definitely not looking strong in the daytime is what it was in the night time. He also has not got the track line to be able to follow Chris and keep on with the faster paced lines. So right now he's trying to use everybody else's, and it's just not working out for him.
Yeah, absolutely. As we can currently see, this top 4 is still very, very close. Chris, Will, G'day Racing and RaKiMaJe just fighting it out, and actually I think Raki's dropped off a little bit. As we see Cam absolutely rattling over that sausage curve there. But he's still on the back of Raki, and Raki's dropped off, so it looks like these two falling off the back of the front 3. G'day Racing in the slipstream of Will. Is he going to be close enough? 2/10 separating them as they come over the line, and he's looking to the inside now. Is G'day going to go for a bit of a lunge? I think he's too far back. He's going to have to tuck in and go again on that one, because Will is just about far enough in front to hold on to the position. Chris leading this trio, and he'll be hoping that these two fight it out a little bit more, which will allow him to break away. But at the moment, no such signs. They're still very, very close on the road. Raki going very wide there, coming through turn 3, and it looks as though Cam shaping up a move. He's looking to the outside. Raki defends the position into the braking zone. It was quite late to defend that position there, but I think he might get away with that one. But it's just 1/10 of a second separating these two, as Cam is now having a little look to the inside into turn 5. He's not close enough, and Raki's going to hold on for now. RWI all over Rompu. But these two have traded places, and I think RWI is going to try and go back around the outside of Rompu. Has he got a good exit though? Coming out of turn 5, they're side by side up towards the 6 and 7 chicane. Rompu's going to have the inside line, and I think he's got that one done. And it looks like Mellish gives RWI a bit of a nudge. It's just a move out of my way type of nudge. It wasn't really a dirty manoeuvre as such. It was a bit rude though from Mellish, but he's up into 8th place, sorry 7th even, ahead of RWI, and RWI losing out 2 positions there in that little exchange.
Yeah, definitely not the outcome of that little exchange that RWI Racing would have wanted. Some shows definitely did not. It must not have intended that manoeuvre. It definitely did.
Sorry to cut you off there, Ian. Chris having a big old moment coming through the final chicane, and now Will's in a slipstream. But yeah, you are right there. We see it looks like actually Chris has got a good run coming out of that final corner though, out onto the start finish, and it's allowed him to have that bit of a cushion. But we saw them almost coming together there. Chris went really deep into the first part of the chicane, and he had to sort of recover that in the second part, and it allowed Will to really put up onto the back of him. But I think Will might have got a compromise run coming out onto the start finish straight, which gave Chris that little reprieve and allowed him to just get himself together. But these three, Chris, Will and G'day Racing, separated by about a second, and they're giving us a great show out the front. Rompu and C Mellish were separated by 2/10 over the start finish line. Rompu's pulled out a bit more than that in the first sector, but these two still joined at the hip. RaKiMaJe not letting Cam Diz off the hook, still sat there within striking distance for that 4th place. But these are the three out the front, Chris, Will and G'day Racing leading the pack at the moment.
These two have been sticking together pretty much since the start of the race. It's not like any one of them tries to be able to get away. So it's not sticking within that half a second so well. So very good racing from those two.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so we got Cam sat 2 seconds behind G'day right now. But Raki's falling off the back of Cam just a little bit. 1.3 seconds separating those two at this point. Raki looks like he's losing a little bit of pace at this point. Rompu still sat just ahead of C Mellish, and RWI's dropped off of them since having a bit of a... Well, actually, no, hold on. It was 1.2 at the middle sector checkpoint. It looks definitely like it's less than a second between C Mellish and RWI now. As RWI goes really wide, though, into the first part of chicane, we'll drop him back to, I think, pretty much where we started. I don't know, Rompu and C Mellish still very close on the track, and Rompu, I'm so surprised to see him down in P6. He followed home Chris Pissock for a 1-2 in the first race. He was absolutely superb. He was on pole for the first race, qualified 6th for this feature race, and he's just been nowhere. I don't know what's happened with Rompu. I really don't.
I just think it's the fact that he does not have Chris Pissock's racing line to be able to follow. It's not allowing him to keep the pace that he did have in the first race.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Chris is still doing the bits. He's still replicating that form that we saw in the first race, and G'day Racing will still very close in contention. These three in such close quarters right now, and Cam's still going around in 4th. Raki there still clinging on just about. Still, we can see what's in front of him, but he's not quite on the level of those ones at the front. SoggyBisckit though has got ahead of oh no, he hasn't got ahead of deedeeTKU. He's got ahead of the wall. Oh no, he's lost out to deedeeTKU, and he's falling back into the clutches of the wall and AmazingPieBoy. And Thomas Menga is also on the back of these now as well. Oh, it's AmazingPieBoy gets really onto the curb there, and he snapped the other way. Oh, Chris got off as well.
Yeah.
No way. Oh no, Chris is now down to 7th place. You saw there Rompu and C Mellish moving up ahead of him. Chris Pissock having a complete and utter capitulation in this race. and he's now given the lead to Good Day Racing. Good Day Racing driving in his second event here at Motive Racing, only his third appearance on the channel, and he now has a 9/10 of a second gap over Will at the front. He's got this under control. What can Will Friedman do about this? Will also in his third race. Those two made their debuts last week at Hungary, and will definitely be extra motivated to try and... Cam is on the back of it as well, yeah. But Will took pole in the feature race last week at Hungary, was fourth on the grid for this race. He now finds himself in striking distance. If he can just keep on the back of Good Day Racing, maybe force him into a mistake. He doesn't need to force him into a mistake though, if he makes the move on him and does it cleanly and does it fairly.
Yeah, he just needs to keep his head clean, look for any opportunity that he can go for, and hopefully try and hopefully get the move done and try and extend his lead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to get past Good Day Racing, and he's got to do it cleanly. He's got to do it the right way, otherwise it won't count. But his Cam is now really on the back of Will, and Will he just had a bit of a moment there on the exit of turn 7, but at the moment still holding on for P2. It's dropped him off of Good Day Racing just a little bit now. The gap between Good Day Racing and Will, 1.7 seconds, as Cam is looking to get on with this, because I think he might feel he has the pace to go and chase after Good Day Racing, so it will definitely be a little bit of a frustrating experience for Cam at the moment. As the goal, Will's wide. Will goes a little bit offline there, and Cam seizes on that. He didn't need a second invitation. He took full advantage of Will's little slip there.
Can we just take an appreciation to see the gap, like the number next to Chris's name right now?
Oh yeah, look.
Yeah.
666 thousandths of a second. Chris is behind C Mellish at the moment, but we've got SDDRS leading by 2.5 seconds over Cam Diz, and Will Friedman still very much close to the back of Cam Diz at this point. RaKiMaJe's dropped off of them a little bit, and Chris has gained 99 thousandths of a second through that final sector on C Mellish, so he's gained a little bit of time on the car in front through that final part of the track. Oh, and he's up the inside, coming through turn 3. C Mellish got a little bit wide, and Chris didn't need a second invitation. He's up into 6th. Damage invitation though here in this race, Iain, for Chris Bissock after that little spin earlier on, which dropped him back through the pack.
Yeah, but I guess that kind of gives him a little bit more challenge here tonight. It's like mid-pack, first to mid-pack, all the way back to first again, 28 minutes left. I just wonder if he has it in the tank.
Yeah, who knows? It's definitely going to be quite a tricky one. But SDDRS continuing to lead this race, and he's pulling out a bit of a gap right now over the rest of the pack. Will, without little mistakes, dropped down to 3rd. Cam Diz, has he got the pace to go after SDDRS maybe? If he keeps it consistent, keeps it on the grey stuff, and then he's definitely got the potential to do so. But he needs to keep on it, does Cam Diz, that is for sure. As he gets a little bit sideways there, coming into the chicane, keeps it on the track. Oh, really right over the sausage curve though. Is Will going to try and take advantage of that and get the move on him coming out of the final corner, out onto the start-finish straight, as Cam goes really wide there, coming out onto the pit straight. These two separated by 4/10 of a second right now. I think Will's too far back to go for the move coming into turn 1. In the meantime, there's Chris. He's pulled out over a second to C Mellish in 7th. RWI looks like he might be closing the gap to C Mellish a little bit now. Just under a second between C Mellish and RWI. As Cam Diz goes really wide there, coming through turn 3. Terribly sorry there, ladies and gentlemen, on my controller did briefly disconnect for a fleeting moment there. Yeah, it's very hard to predict what will happen in the course of a race. Unfortunately, when you leave your controller unplugged, it every so often does actually disconnect it. I guess forward planning just isn't my strong suit, but Anyway, we move on. We currently got SDDRS leading this field by 3.2 seconds at the moment. This is still holding off for Will Freeman. Still so close between these two at the moment. And I think Cam got a little bit. It's looking a bit sideways coming on the exit of turn 9. Still ahead of Will at the moment though. We've got C Mellish sat in 7th place. He's just ahead of RWI, and RWI is continuing to pile that pressure on. C Mellish, who's getting passed by Chris Pissock a few laps ago, has now got his hands full of RWI. Really rides over that grass there on the inside of turn 10, but keeps it pointing in the right direction just at the moment. Oh, as we see Cam and Will both really using that runoff there out of the final corner. Still 0.6 of a second between these two. Will's not going down without a fight in this fight for second place. Cam 3 seconds off the back of Good Day Racing. Looks like SDDRS Good Day Racing's very much got this one under his control, but by no means signed and sealed. He hasn't even written it on the envelope yet, so it's not even like he's packaged it up. You know, he hasn't even written the letter, so at the moment it's still very much in the balance.
It's not even registered for a pickup yet.
Well, I mean, he could post it in the post box, I suppose, couldn't he?
Yeah, but it may be a very big package. You never know. But Will is really close to that.
If it's over 2 kilos, then I know if it's over 20 kilos, sorry, then he'd have to, yeah. But if it's under 20 kilos, then he can send it just via post. But
well, yeah, but if he continues to hold that, so I suppose then it will be a very, very big package. That will be it's going to be a very big performance.
The moral of the story is that SDDRS Good Day Racing has a very big package. I'm not quite sure how we got to that one, but Cam Diz has Cam Diz has a half-second lead. Oh, not a lead, but you know what I mean. A half-second gap to Will Freeman at the moment. Will is just at the moment just sat there waiting for maybe Cam to have a little slip, you know, rest on his laurels, maybe think that he's home and dry, and think that he can just focus on having a good race and doing things, you know, having a good clean race. And then obviously Will might go for a bit of a lunge or a bit of an unexpected sucker punch, who knows. But at the moment these guys staying as they are, so it's an interesting fight between these two for sure. But 2.5 seconds between Good Day Racing and Cam Diz. And Chris Pissock on the back of Rompu, 0.7 of a second separating Rompu and Chris Pissock. These two have completely dropped RWI. RWI is now 8 seconds behind Chris Pissock on the track. C Mellish still within a second of RWI at this point. So this is incredibly exciting stuff between all of these drivers. As C Mellish gets very hot on the curb there through turn 2.
Thomas did spin it on the last corner there, and it's allowed it did allow SoggyBisckit through, and he's now in the pits.
Oh yeah, SoggyBisckit's up into 11th place, and Thomas Menga making an impromptu pit stop here. No mandatory pit stops for these Porsche Supercups, so clearly he's had, well, you can see there, look at that, it's a little bit of damage on the front end of that car, and he's obviously getting that changed. It's too uncomfortable for him to drive, and down in P12 I suppose he'd rather have an enjoyable experience to finish off the race rather than a frustrating and counter-steery type of finish to the race. So he's coming into the pits, and he'll be hoping that he can log some good laps in.
I was taking a very weird line there.
Yeah, indeed. I think C Mellish there, he's continuing to drop off the back of Chris and RWI. DeedeeTKU is only 3 seconds behind C Mellish at this point. So I wonder if DeedeeTKU's got the pace to pull up onto the back of him in what could end up being a scrap for 8th place. In the meantime though, Cam and Will are both closing the gap to Good Day Racing. Currently 2.1 separating Good Day and Cam, and then Will is just sat there just behind Cam. And these two doing a very sensible race here. Will, obviously an intelligent chap, works for the Ministry of Justice, so you know he's switched on. He knows how to be patient and how to you know, do stuff very patiently, pretty much, because obviously he sat behind Cam. He's not engaging, not going for silly little rash moves up the inside. He wants to wait until he's got both of his men in front of him, and then take both of them. He doesn't want to waste too much time taking the one in front of him without being able to take the one ahead of him, if you see what I mean. So he's playing the long game. He's being, you know, he's being patient, and yeah, just working away, which is good to see. But Rompu sat 4 tenths ahead of Chris Bissock at the moment. These two still continuing their fight for 5th place. And Chris, I'm surprised he hasn't really been waved through yet, because Team Run DJC, I suppose JR has said that there are no team orders for Team Run DJC. He's made that crystal clear that drivers will not be asked to, if they wouldn't mind awfully letting the guy behind them through. There's none of that at Team Run DJC. It's very much hold your position, fight for everything, give us a show, and make us proud.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cam's has Wolf all over his mirrors coming down the start straight right now. Hold on, G'day's had a massive moment. These two have really caught up to him.
Yeah, you're right. G'day Racing's having a bit of a difficult couple of laps, that is for sure. Candice and Will are reeling him in, even despite the fact that they appear to now be pretty close and possibly even battling here. Will's got a nice run coming out of turn 3. He's going to look to the inside into 4. No, Cam got a nice enough run out of the corner to have that cushion back to Will as he gets really sideways there. Oh, Cam all over the place, and Will's not able to get that one done. Tucks in behind and ready to go again. Chris still sat there biding his time in this fight for 5th, but this race petering out a little bit now. You've got G'day Racing leading this race. What we want to see, ladies and gentlemen, is we want to see a good battle for the lead. We want to see G'day Racing, Cam and Will fighting it out for the lead. But are we going to see it? That is the question, as Will 2 tenths off the back of Cam. These two continuing to just gradually reel G'day in. Oh, as Will gets really loose on the curb there on the outside of turn 9 coming into 10, and he's dropped off the back of Cam. There's a little bit there. That was so close to him going fully round, but he's kept it pointing in the right direction and somehow manages to get through that little skirmish. But that was so close to curtains there for Will Friedman. But yeah, he's done excellently there, gotta say.
Yeah, you know, it's hard. I know it's played up repeatedly over and over tonight, but for a car that has no traction control, he really did manage to handle that one very well.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. The rest of the pack pretty strung out right now, except Rompu and Chris, who are still running as they are. And you saw Chris there kicking up a little bit of gravel there as he came out of the last turn, but keeping it on the track. So well done to him for keeping control of that car. G'day Racing though, still leading this race, but the gap's now down to 1.4 seconds. So Cam is working away and reeling him in. He's been doing absolute bits in this race, as Cam does. Just didn't start at the sharp end, but he's been making his way back through. G'day Racing likewise has driven brilliantly.
Yeah, everybody's doing fantastic in their own way here tonight. Looks like Thomas is actually continuing to stick on the back of a backmarker right now. I believe that's AmazingPieBoy on the back of right now.
Who's on the back of AmazingPieBoy?
No one. Wrong number. Number 12. He's Thomas is actually continuing to stick onto the back of RWI Racing right now, even though Thomas is 1 lap down.
Ah, right. Well, this is quite intriguing, because Thomas Menger clearly feels he's got the pace to challenge RWI. Gets really wide there after the gravel coming out of turn 8. And I think that Thomas might be too far back to go for I think he's going to be more cautious in this situation, because he doesn't want to end up taking out one of the leaders, because that will come with a pretty hefty response from the stewards. Stewards will not take kindly to seeing a car going for a lunge that it has no right to go for. They will not take kindly to that is for sure.
No, definitely not. If you see a gap that's big enough and you know you can pull the gap to the person that you're unlapping yourself from, yeah, sure, by all means go for it. But if you've been behind me for some time and you're pushing at your max capacity, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, unless it's clear cut, unless you know it's pretty open and shut, I wouldn't go for it, to be honest with you, Thomas Menger. Too much risk, too much. I mean, the thing is that you could be hero if you play it right, but if you don't and it messes up, then you just then the car that's a lap down just ends up looking a little bit silly, you know.
Yeah, you can't go into that kind of
Oh,
move.
Thomas is round!
Oh no! That was a big smack.
Yeah, he tagged the grass, didn't he? And he's been lapped there by Team Mellish and DeedeeTKU in the process, and he's still getting it going. But there we go, he is now facing in the right direction. The wall is coming up on the scene, but I think that Thomas should be just about getting himself back on his feet as the wall appears in his rearview mirrors.
Oh, hold on. Oh, G'day has cams all over over the back rearview mirrors.
Yeah, he's very, very close, isn't he? 0.3 of a second separating SDRS, G'day Racing and Cam right now out onto the start-finish straight for the 13th time here in this race. It's so close between these two. They've kind of shaken off Will a little bit. Will's now 2 seconds behind. Has he fallen off the pace ever so slightly? But in towards turn 1, and SDRS still holding on by the skin of his teeth. He's got this one in the bag if he just keeps his position, but he's going to have to defend like crazy because Cam Diz is on a charge. And has he got what it takes to find a way through? Is he going to go for a little move up the inside? Is he going to throw a late lunge when SDRS isn't expecting it?
A little bit too far back.
Wonder what Camson's going to need to do now. Is he going to need to catch him off guard? Is he going to have to trigger his senses in some way or another? One thing that would be interesting now is if they come up on a back marker, because you know all it takes is the leader to be a little bit too courteous of a back marker. You know, SDRS might see a back marker in front of them, and Cam Diz might, you know, take advantage of that. All it takes is
Actually, it looks like they actually are making they're going to come up on the back marker in the next few laps of AmazingPieBoy.
yeah. Oh, as Cam gets a little bit loose out of the final corner. SDRS pulls away a little bit, but that might give Will an opportunity. I think he's not close enough. But these three giving us a great fight at the moment, and it's still SDRS, G'day Racing, leading the way by half a second, but Cam and Will in hot pursuit now as they're starting lap 15. Still quite a way to go in this feature race, so G'day Racing has just got to really get his elbows out as he gets a bit of a compromised run there coming through turn 1 and 2, but it's such a narrow part of the track, there's nowhere to go. And Cam isn't able to do anything about that. Coming through that part of the track, Cam goes really wide on the exit of turn 3. But Will tucks in behind. He's not able to go for anything rash or reckless or slightly ambitious at this point.
No, you can't go into one of these Cam moves and shit you up.
And Will's through.
First.
Will's made the move on Cam up the inside.
Yeah, he has. But well, if we know Cam, he's not going to take that line down.
No, for sure. But SDRS now with control, still with control of this race, as he has done pretty much since the beginning. It was the early stages when he inherited the lead from Chris Pissick, as Will is trying to defend this from Cam as they come in towards turn 9. Still, it looks like Cam's going to try and cut back and get him on the run up to 10. Is he going to be able to hold it around the outside? I think he has. Oh, Cam Diz has pulled off an absolutely brilliant move there. He set that up all the way from turn 9. He had exactly what he was going to do in mind. He let Will get a little bit too relaxed there, and then went and absolutely went for his move. Capitalised on Will having a little moment of vulnerability on those curbs.
I'm very surprised that his Kurt has not really made the gains that we were thinking he was going to be making. He's not long only just got by Rompu. He's now got roughly about 5 or so seconds back to him. So he's still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he has, hasn't it? Oh, it's Rompu goes wide though. Oh, Rompu's off onto the gravel. And it looked like he got a little bit of oversteer while on the gravel, which sent him even further away from the track. And that's just made matters worse for him. It's compounded the problems. As Chris is putting up onto the back of RaKiMaJe now in this fight for 4th. And it's still as you were in the fight at the front. SDDRS, Cam and Will separated by not much. Will right up the chuff of Cam. Cam not far off the back of SDDRS. As Raki and Chris coming into the corner. And Chris has got ahead of RaKiMaJe up into 4th place. He obviously got the drag down the back straight, and he's seized on RaKiMaJe, I presume going wide maybe or something. But RaKiMaJe loses out, and Chris Pissick into some clean air, but he's 10 seconds off of the top 3 fighting for the lead. So I don't think he's going to be able to win this race unless these 3 have some kind of monumental capitulation or some kind of massive wreckfest between the 3 of them. I think that this should be our podium. I can't see Chris getting himself in the top 3 here in this one, as Will gets a little bit of a wiggle there. Wonder if the others will perceive that as weakness and try and exploit it in some way or another.
Well, we started with 15, now we're now down to 30, so we've lost one other driver.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's disconnected from the session. I wonder who that was. But if you see, we've got Will looking to the inside here. Cam goes a little bit wide out of turn 5. He's got the run here. I think he's going to go for the move. Yeah, Will Friedman's got that move back up into 2nd, but while those 2 fight out, it's given GoodDay Racing just a little bit of respite, and he's now got over a 2nd to these 2 as Cam is trying to come back at Will into turn 8. He's not going to be able to though. Will's got that move done, but Will gets, he gets a little bit out of shape there coming out of turn 8, and that's given Cam the run. Cam's now got the inside towards turn 9, down this long back straight, and Cam has got the move once again, returns the favour immediately. These 2 having some great racing, but it's given GoodDay Racing quite a considerable cushion now, and I wonder if these 2 have got the pace to pull up onto the back of him. We know that these 2 were lapping quicker than GoodDay when GoodDay was out there on his own at the front, and then as soon as they started battling, it kind of it's allowed him to it's let him off the hook a little bit, as we see both Cam and Will really clouting that curb coming through the chicane, the final part of the chicane. But it's still as you were between these 3 now, and SDDRS GoodDay Racing leads by 1.6 seconds. Cam and Will gained a little bit in the last part of that lap in the final sector. Looks like GoodDay Racing may have had a bit of a scruffy final sector there, but these 3...
Yeah, it got kind of sideways going, just in the right hander going into the flash chicane. So he has, Chris is actually bringing down that gap quite a considerable amount. Before that lap ended, his gap to GoodDay was roughly about 10.7 seconds. Now it's only at 10.7. I love the 20,000s before 10.7 now. My apologies. That's at 10.4.
Yeah, it's looks like that gap has come down a little bit, but
Not maybe enough.
yeah, I don't think so because it's 10.3 now between SDDRS and Will, but yeah, it's definitely not where he would want it to be. I think it's going to be too little too late for Chris Bissock. A day late and $1 short. There are so many synonyms for something that's too late or not enough, aren't there? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things you can say. You can say that ship has sailed.
Oh, G'day gets a little bit wide onto the gravel there at the final corner.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Cam is now within a second of the leader, so it looks like this is still battle on for the lead. Will's dropped off the back of Cam a little bit, as we've now got 3 laps left to go here in this race.
It's just all about just about whether or not Cams can close that gap and get past G'day, because they're coming up on the back of AmazingPieBoy right now.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? AmazingPieBoy just about a lap down on the leaders. He's about to go a lap down, and I'm sure that it's not what he would have ideally envisaged when he imagined how this Porsche Supercup round 6 here at Barcelona was going to go. He moves well out of the way there for the leaders.
Yeah.
Rather theatrically there, moving over to the side of the road.
Doing a lot of battles, doing a spot of gardening while we're doing it. You know?
Yeah, cutting the grass, as they say.
Yeah. Oh, he's got to earn some kind of hold on. Cam's up the inside.
Oh, side by side, G'day Racing's going to try and hold it on the inside here for turn 11. They're tapping a little bit. Oh, bit of contact, and it's gone off. Oh, Cam gets sent round there. G'day Racing, I think, gave him a bit of a tap. And I would assume Cam tried to correct the steering, was probably oversteered a bit by that contact, and then went the other way, snapped to the left-hand side and into the barriers. And it's given the lead back to SDDRS. G'day Racing.
That's had an issue as well. He was fell back behind the auto.
Oh no, yeah, Chris Bissock was closing on the 3 leaders a moment ago, but he's now dropped out of that fight. Has Cam got it together in front of RaKi? I think he has, yeah, he's recovered it quite comfortably ahead of RaKi. But SDDRS now, with this race at his mercy, he's got 1.4 seconds to Will. But I think maybe, Ian, that might end up being a Stewart's inquiry between those two, between G'day Racing and Cam, because to me, I think Cam had the outside, but he was slightly ahead, and G'day gave him a bit of a tap. He was about halfway alongside him. He kind of tapped his door, and then I think what must have happened, because it was part of the car where naturally the car with the trajectory would sort of peel off towards the inside and oversteer. So I assume that Cam must have tried to counter steer and then lost it on the counter steer, which sent him the other way. But again, that's speculation. Yeah, maybe, but SDDRS leads this race by 1.4 seconds at the moment over Will Friedman as they're on the penultimate lap of this race. This is setting up to be a bit of a thriller, isn't it? We've got SDDRS and Will separated by not very much at all. Can Will Friedman try and figure G'day out? Can he analyse him and figure out what his weaknesses are? What techniques might work to get SDDRS to give this lead away?
We've got another back marker to navigate that as SoggyBisckit.
Yeah. What if SDDRS has a bit of a soft spot for this back marker? Backs off a little bit.
Oh, I was coming up really close to him now. It looks like SoggyBisckit did go intentionally wide and allowed the two leaders through.
Good stuff there. So Will Freeman's not going to be able to take advantage of the back marker, potentially getting in the way, because as you saw, SoggyBisckit did move well over out of the way of these two, but GoodDay Racing holding on grimly. Will Freeman knows this is probably his last opportunity to go for something.
I apologise if that was likely.
Iain there opening up his customary iron brew.
Of course.
But as we're coming into the final half a lap, SDDRS has a 0.2 of a second advantage, and Will having little looks to the inside, trying to maybe distract GoodDay in the rear a little bit. This is going to be his last proper chance unless he forces GoodDay into a mistake. Into turn 9 for the final time here at Catalunya. Is he going to try and get the cut back on GoodDay? Is he going to try and get a run up towards turn 10? No, he's not, because GoodDay Racing absolutely nails those apexes. He's led since the early stages of this race, has the GoodDay Racing. Chris Pissock with that little bit of a mistake earlier on, dropped him down the field into the mid-pack. Will Freeman chased GoodDay Racing down. Cam Diz came up short with that little contact that he had with GoodDay, sent him into the barriers. Will Freeman has taken it upon himself to be the one to give chase, but it's not going to come to any avail, because GoodDay Racing comes out of the final corner here at Catalunya, and it's going to be maximum points and the victory tonight for SDDRS GoodDay Racing. Will Freeman follows him home to take a second place. Another podium for Will, but not enough for the win, and Will clearly not happy with GoodDay Racing. You can tell by the way that he drove across him there at the end. He sort of just cut across very suddenly, and Cam clearly not happy with the contact of Will. Those two, you can just tell by their body language, not their body language, but you know, their car language, that they're not happy. Raki comes over in fourth.
Sorry to cut you off there, but that's going to be a penalty, because we've got it in our rules that any contact, any intentional contact after after crossing the line is actually a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Retaliating to something that to an injustice is actually not is actually an injustice in itself. So obviously, anybody who retaliates in a way that goes against the rules and regulations is actually breaking the rules themselves. So very naughty there from Cam, and he will definitely pick up a hefty penalty for that. But RWI, SimRaceTrain and deedeeTKU cross the line. The wall is going to come out the last corner now to take a P10 here in this race. Great stuff from the wall. He really did bring it on tonight, didn't he? The AmazingPieBoy 11th. So
Let me go.
sorry, AmazingPieBoy, SoggyBisckit, Thomas Menger and Scuderia Paul completing the classification. But what a brilliant win there from GoodDay Racing, finishing ahead of Will and Cam Diz. SDDRS GoodDay Racing managed to hold off the charge. There was a bit of contact between himself and Cam, which sent Cam into the wall, and Cam wasn't happy with that. And Will also clearly wasn't happy with that, although Will showed his discontent in a slightly more subtle manner than Cam did. Yeah, indeed. He just cut across him at the end and made it clear what he thought of that. But that, ladies and gentlemen, for the feature race. Make sure you join us in the next one for the Porsche Supercup, and join us tomorrow for the Clio Cup as well. We'll be on from 7 PM on Project Cars 2 for that one. But from all of us, it's a very good night. We'll see you later.